It's Entertainment Schmig.
And it's brought to you by Plaza Motors. Maroon 5 concert announcement earlier this morning. They'll be at Scottrade October 3rd. That's next year.
Wow.
With Tovlo and Our City. We'll have your tickets this weekend. We'll have them next week, too, all throughout the week on the Phillips & Company Morning Show. Movies out this weekend. You have Spectre, the new 007. The Peanuts movie, Suffragette, about the movement, women's right to vote. And Miss You Already with Drew Barrymore and Toni Collette. Speaking of movies, B&B Theaters' new Wentzville Tower 12 is opening this weekend. They're doing something cool. If you're out in the Wentzville area and you go there to catch a movie, you can get a free small popcorn or pay what you want for popcorn.
Nothing.
That's the same thing.
The donation, by the way, supports Wentzville School District Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah.
It's for the kids.
Doing it for the
Courtney.
kids,
They're not my kids.
A sweet, heartbreaking, just touching story about a Star Wars fan. And really, the three people behind this, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Peter Mayhew,
Chewbacca.
and John Boyega, the new Star Wars character, Finn.
Yeah.
They all got behind this guy once they heard about his story. His name's Daniel Fleetwood. He's 32 years old, huge Star Wars fan. And back in September, his doctor diagnosed him with this terminal cancer and said he had 1, maybe 2 months to live. So he's facing death. And the poor man just wants to see the Star Wars movie before he dies.
Yeah,
And
right.
he does not think he's going to make it to December 18th. So the guys from the movie heard about it. They kind of were pushing to make this happen. And on Wednesday, Disney executives showed up with a copy at his house. He and his wife got to watch it on their TV, but it was run through Disney equipment, so they couldn't make a copy of it or anything.
And they wouldn't.
No.
His wife said he was so excited they had to sign confidentiality agreements.
Oh, sure.
Because they, don't want them revealing any spoilers. And before the movie, J.J. Abrams, the director, called Daniel to talk to him.
Oh,
Wow.
that's so incredible.
He saw an unedited cut. Apparently, they're still working on it. So
he probably didn't see it with titles or, he saw a scaled down version maybe.
yeah, I'm not really sure. But Mark Hamill tweeted yesterday, just read this when he heard about the news that he saw it. He said, "I'm elated for Daniel and his family. Thanks to the powers that be for making this dream come true."
What a great
That
story.
is
I know.
awesome.
Burt Reynolds still holds love for Sally Field. He said in an interview that she was the love of his life.
Frog. I'm going to call you Frog.
They dated how long?
Gosh, 30 years ago, but they dated in the late 70s and early 80s. They did 4 movies together, and he said she was the love of his life. I miss her terribly. Even now, it's hard on me. I don't know why I was so stupid. He said men are like that. You find the perfect person, and then you do everything you can to screw it up. No word from Sally. Project Runway, the finale last night, maybe the series finale, but I don't know. They've kind of left it open for another season.
I hope it doesn't go away. It's such an entertaining show from beginning to end.
Ashley won the season plus size designer.
Yeah, which was, she really didn't do any plus size wear the entire season.
Really?
Well, no, because they have their models that they have to design for.
Well, and the plus size, were they size 12?
No, they were bigger than that.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't love her collection. I love that she did a plus size collection, but the colors were not my favorite. I think she won because she had the courage to do a plus. You know how much harder it is to design a plus size collection than having size 2 people wearing that the clothes just hang on
Yeah.
them,
Right.
the fit and everything.
Right.
So I'm happy she won.
Yeah,
I really
tell me
am.
about it. Tell me about every single
Yeah,
thing
right.
that I buy that looks great on the model, and then I get it home and I'm like, that's not what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, right. When it just hangs on a hanger on the. You're like, okay, well, there's these boobs that are in the way.
Right. Speaking of models, Giselle Bündchen's nudes book. Remember, $700
Yeah.
for the book and limited edition, blah, blah, blah. It sold out before it was even released.
Really?
You pervs. George R.R. Martin feeling bad for Justin Bieber, although he might not once I tell you this other story. He was giving an interview recently.
He's the
Game of Thrones author.
Yeah.
He said, I have a certain sympathy for these teenage bleeps.
the ones that get rich when they're really young.
Yeah, he said the Justin Biebers and the Lindsay Lohans. No wonder they're crazy. If this stuff happened to me, if I had written a novel when I was 19 and sold billions of copies, I wouldn't have been able to handle it at that age. He said, I can barely handle it at 67.
I get it's true.
It's
though.
surreal. And it's funny because King Joffrey, one of his characters,
Yeah.
there's even a Tumblr page called Joffrey Bieber. He could be seen as like
I like
kind of a...
Well, we say that a lot. When you look at like a George Clooney of the world who manages to be normal because
Yeah.
he really didn't get that fame until later in life.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And Justin Bieber, in a new cover story with Billboard, said, his relationship with his mom, in his documentary, Never Say Never, they were so super tight.
Yeah.
Single mom who raised him, took care of him. He said that their relationship as of recently has been pretty non-existing. As is your relationship with the English language, Justin. Donald Trump and Sia on Saturday Night Live this weekend, and MasterChef Junior Edition. If you want to watch it for the kids, it's always on the list of like best shows for families, for kids and parents to watch together. That is back with another season tonight. And Schmig Schmackdown coming in just about an hour on Y98.